Number 3, how does Hubble Space Telescope play a factor going forward, or is it simply a relic of the past? How much did Hubble play a factor in getting to where James Webb Space Telescope has already gotten to? It's another great question. So, Hubble is not necessarily a relic of the past, and Hubble and James Webb Space Telescope are very different, right? What I would highly suggest, we were able to jump on some Twitter Spaces with the James Webb Space Telescope team before the images, so we were able to ask questions among many other people, but I was lucky in 2 instances that I had the free time, I was able to ask a question live. So I recorded both of those. I would recommend going back to those clips and watching those, and we'll have those here for you to reference. But to talk about the first one, some of the major things is that with all the incredible detail that JWST is getting us, the amount of viewing space that Hubble has in our own visible light, you're getting images that really showcase an enhanced version of what we can see that's out there. And it's a much larger swath of space that you're looking at, right, with Hubble. Those are 2 main things that are different. Now, the quality of Hubble is not going to match the quality of JWST because you also have 20 years of technology in difference. So all the things that got from Hubble, we've got so much more. They're running basically an LTE network to send the data from JWST to Earth because it's that much data. And that's another big factor between Hubble and JWST. The amount of data in each viewing path that JWST has is way more. But that also comes with a smaller viewing of the sky. Now, the infrared, red light specifically, there are some really incredible sensors that have never really been on anything else that JWST has on board. But with that comes a limitation of the choices they made in the design. It limits the amount of viewing space that we have. So I would say Hubble, as long as it's able to stay in orbit, is going to be huge. The other big thing too is Hubble is in basically orbit around Earth, so it actually interferes with the atmosphere a little bit, and JWST is far out at Lagrange point 2, and at that point it has complete darkness. The temperature is really cold, which means the instruments, the cryogenic instruments, are going to be able to perform. Hubble's always fighting itself to get good pictures, and that's just the nature of where it is in space. Now, that's better than having something on Earth looking out, right? Because you've got to go through that whole atmosphere. Hubble's better, but the position of James Webb is so much better. The challenge with James Webb Space Telescope is if something happens out there, you can't fix it. With Hubble, Hubble had that issue where the mirrors were misaligned when it was first up there. We were able to send a space shuttle to Hubble to work on it physically. So as long as Hubble is able to keep its electronics and whatever fuel that it needs in place and in orbit, Hubble will continue to operate. Of course, unless they decide to cut mission funding to keep that thing going. JWST has a shorter lifetime, but is able to do so much more in the tinier viewing screen that it does have. So they're definitely going to have to be good about planning out who gets to see what and how much we extract out of those extra 10 years that we talked about before. So.